Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our 170th episode of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition. The Sept of the Western Eye. I'm going to go around and have my players introduce themselves.
I'm Tyler, and I play Kyle, also known as Guards the Low. He's a Philodox of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play Cora. She's an Aruna in the Geta Fenris.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Mark Guides the Fallen, and he's a Thurge of the Children of Gaia.
Hello, my name is Riley, and I am playing Dimitri Howls-In-Memory, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Hi, my name is George. I am playing William Grows-Matrices. He is a rune of the Glasswalkers.
Last time, the Pax had to deal with disaster. Following who they thought was Edgar Martin, they found themselves attacked and destroyed an innocent man's life while almost killing a ghoul and reigniting the Leech War. The Pax then move on to try and investigate the old office of the Good Doctor. Finding bits in jars holding of people's souls, they break the jars and re-release their pain and anguish upon those who have sought the Good Doctor for help, before trying to leave and attacked by a sniper. The Pax were chastised by the elders, spoke with the prince of the city, and have now been tasked with leaving and going to the Sept of the Western Eye in Hawaii to look at Jonathan Nightbiter, who is suspected of being another pawn of the Good Doctor. It's been 2 weeks since you had spoken with the Council of Elders, and now you have been given permission to leave the Cairn and start heading towards the Sept of the Western Eye to start looking into Jonathan Nightbiter, given what you have told the Council. You have been given some leeway on when to leave, so is there anything you guys want to do in the Cairn? Before you go, you've all been gifted a single talent so that you can use it to, or you've been given 2 talents, one to jump from Unified Heart to the Sept of the Western Eye, and then a talent to jump back to Unified Heart, and they're expecting, though, that Western Eye might let you leave the Cairn free of charge if you do them a great service. So, what's the plan?
Guardsolo, do you think it'd be too far-fetched to do a pain chain on Jonathan Nightbiter? Maybe that could push a lot of the fog on whether he's actually cured of the Hirano or not, or if this is something that is magical in nature.
I suppose we have the time, so long as before we go, spend some time to recover our gnosis. I don't mind doing that, and I think it also makes sense to try and figure out who Dimitri serves as well.
If the rest of the Pax don't mind this occurring.
I believe it's an idea to pursue. I don't know how far we'll get. My thought is Jonathan would have a jar with the Good Doctor, where his Hirano is just trapped in that.
And I'm thinking that same thing, because Storm Chaser is, because when we did the pain chain on him, that's when Good Doctor stuff started showing up. So maybe if we did it on Jonathan Nightbiter, maybe more Good Doctor stuff will arise.
I don't agree, but like I said, it's an idea to pursue.
Well, it could potentially give us more information so we know what we're walking into, if anything.
It's alright. So I suppose, although we know that the Good Doctor has influenced Nightbiter, we don't know what causes, say, Storm Chaser to be a servant of the Good Doctor versus those he's cut ties with, but obviously still had control over with the jars, right? Is having that jar enough, or do you actually need to serve in some way? I don't know. I suppose I don't even know how to say it.
Like
the morality of the gift, how it actually views the relationships, whether they are a servant or not. It can't hurt to have more insight.
All right, sounds like we're doing a pain
Sorry.
chain.
Thanks, Garthalo.
But it is a nice philosophical question about how the gift reads
You gain no
servant.
You gain no insight into Jonathan Nightbiter.
And I will go ahead and do the same for Dimitri.
You get Rabu Aho, who is a young man, maybe in his late 20s, early 30s, of Middle Eastern descent, dark skin that seems like it may have been taken away from the sun for some time, with simple gray eyes, or simple amber eyes, and short-cropped, very modern, cut black hair.
Unfortunately, wasn't able to pain chain Nightbiter. Dimitri seems to serve another leech, which at least means he doesn't serve the good doctor directly, so if we did want to work with him in the future, it's probably on the table.
Thank you for trying anyway. That is good information to have.
All right. And then, William, I believe you're driving down to Old Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
So you approach Brian and his husband.
Hey, Brian. How are you?
Hey, William, what can we do for you?
Nothing much. I'm just here to, follow up on the happenings with the HOA and the farming.
Yeah.
I also wanted to kind of let you know that I'll be out of town for a few weeks. So I've got a gift for you, but let's hear what you have to say first.
Oh, I was just gonna say we really appreciate you guys getting us in contact with those that mutual aid group. They've really been helping us organize, and we've been making great progress. We've been seeing kind of a sharp decline in some of the fines over the past few weeks. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Good to hear. Really, really nice to hear. Actually, since I'll be out of town, I'm gonna go ahead and get with a couple other people. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to them. They'll go ahead and take care of what needs to be taken care of. I'll bring them up to speed as well, and I'll give them your number as well, so that way they can reach out to you.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
And then I did tell you I don't want to leave you all empty-handed just coming out here. I've got a couple of apple tree seeds, yes, to give to you. I'm going to plant them for you, so that way they grow healthy and strong. But otherwise, take care of them. They should help with feeding everyone.
Oh. Hey, thanks. We know a couple places exactly where we'd want to plant them.
Show them to me, and I'll go ahead and get them there.
As they show you, it takes a good afternoon's worth of work just to get everything kind of set up.
Okay, and then I roll. Did you want me to roll for every single one?
We'll do one for...
Or just one time?
Just one time.
So, what's the difficulty? Because it changes depending on the location. Abandoned lot is 5, typical city building 6 or 7, and oil spill is 9.
So we'll go with a 6.
Okay.
Masterful success. Be great fucking trees.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? You guys will probably have to spend. If you guys are going to recover Gnosis, that hunt's going to probably kill the rest of this day.
That's my plan, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna help out with that.
I think we should probably do that.
So I'm actually pretty good on Gnosis. What I wanted to do is actually go back into the cairn and recruit a Fostern or Cleoth pack
Okay.
to help out with the kin.
Isn't that already? Don't you already have a pack doing that with you?
No, I thought they were just looking into something. They weren't necessarily...
Well, they're looking into Mountain View. I figured you'd want to pull them in since they know the most about the situation.
Yeah, so that was essentially who I wanted to, but I didn't want to assume that they would be the ones that were free.
Got it. Well, then you reach out to them, and they do agree.
Okay.
And you guys do the hunt. Anyone who's at the hunt, you're at full Gnosis. And everyone's at full willpower, by the way. So, it is the next day as you guys shoot off to the Unified Heart. And then you spend a talent, and you all shoot off to the Western Eye. You are greeted by one Gordon Calming Seas, a child, Adrian of the Children of Gaia. Greetings and welcome, Fomori's Bane. I believe your Sept sent word of your coming.
This is true. I am Mark, Guides to Fallen, and I'll introduce the rest of the Pecs.
Welcome.
And thank you. We are here to speak to an elder or elders.
Yes, the Elder is expecting you. I would caution you to be careful with your words. I try not to presume, nor try and do any sort of guilt by association, but this is both a child of Gaia and older brother, Karen, and word has gotten around the nation of your closeness to one Final Days, and his ill repute with the members of older brother.
You cannot help who you are raised by.
You cannot, but...
Final Days burned all of those bridges, and he shouldn't have. And it was absolutely foolish, both for his own goals and for how older brother deserves to be treated.
Agreed. Like I said, you'll get no disagreement from me, and I would rather judge you upon your own merits, but, well, older brother had been scorned before, so we're doing our best to make sure that they know that we are not on his side either, to try and mend the hurt that was caused.
We appreciate the warning, and thank you for taking up the slack that our mentor caused.
We all do what we can. Come, I'll bring you to Kalani Pulls the Ocean. She's been teaching Naomi Starsinger, her apprentice, near the heart of the Karen. So, you guys are getting brought to the Elder as you see her kind of start to slow down, and Gordon goes, oh, one last thing. As she's teaching, he goes, I need your word from everyone here. There are certain areas of the Karen that are sacred to older brother. They are marked with this glyph as he draws it into the ground, and they are difficult to miss. I need your word that you will not cross into those areas.
You have our word.
You are then brought before the Elder, as she turns and goes, this is Fomori's Bane and the Ill Omens?
Yes, that's us, and it is an honor to meet you, Pulls the Ocean Rhea.
Likewise. You're free to go, Gordon. I think we can take it from here. Please have a seat. As there's a couple nice sized, almost like chair-sized rocks about near that overlook the ocean.
Thank you.
So, what brings your pack so far out from your Karen?
We had heard that Jonathan Nightbiter has made his way here, is that correct?
That is correct. He has joined the Karen, or is attempting to, in a probationary period.
Kyle will look around to see how many people are nearby.
It's just the apprentice.
May we speak to you in private?
Certainly. Naomi, please. Thank you. As the apprentice stands up, Naomi nods and goes, as you wish, Elder.
Mark would like to, kind of follow a little bit to make sure she is left. Not, leave the group, but make sure that there is truly no one around.
Sure. As you do that, and you get kind of a side eye from Pulls the Ocean.
Pardon the secrecy, Elder, but these are words only meant for your ears.
Older brother knows about secrets. I thought the children of Gaia knew of trust.
These are strange times for many to learn new things, even the children of Gaia.
Please forgive the extra caution. We apologize. We are in an interesting place, and I hope you understand where we're coming from by the end of our exposition. We are seeking a namer. This namer has many humans, other namers, and some Garu within his ranks. Not spirals, or, well, who am I to say, but Gaian Garu. Jonathan Nightbiter is my father and Mark's mentor, and was under the effects of Hirano until recently, and is no longer, we believe, due to this namer's influence. Now, we do not believe that he is malicious, but we do believe that some of the actions he is taking are not under his own influence. So we have come here, for one, to warn you about him, and for two, to try and discover what it is that the good doctor wants him to do here. If anything.
I see.
It's not like we can ask him directly.
No. He's been an interesting fellow. He's been making waves in how he holds himself as a Silverfang. With no kin here, he has been working regular jobs and not bothering any of ours or the children's kin. Has gained a bit of respect from several of the Garu here.
Hence why he might be joining the cairn on a probationary period, correct?
That and caution. We will not be fooled into believing that the Garu of Europe are coming here with talks of peace and just allowing them to join us. That is how many Karens of older and younger brother were taken.
That's a good vigilance, because this neighbor, the good doctor, has already shown an extent of his power to us. So to speak, it's good to hear you already have a healthy bit of paranoia.
Not paranoia. These things have happened before. Caution, I think, is a better word for it.
Tell me, Elder, has he made any strange requests, even one strange for the Silverfang?
None that I can think of. He's wandered the Karen grounds and has avoided the sacred places as was requested. I know that he has been taking boats out more frequently, but I feel that that is because he is trying to learn, given that many of the Garu here learn to use boats, given, well, the nature of this place. He's been spearheading something as well. On one of the other islands, he's been taking a boat to try and work against a new pharmaceutical plant built by Magadon.
Are there any others that he's taken with him to deal with this?
Several of the younger packs.
Are members or some of those packs here that we may talk to them?
Yes. Is that all from you?
Well, the reason that we told only you, and wanted to tell only you, is because we do not wish for a witch hunt. We don't wish for one in our own sept. We don't wish for one here. We don't wish for one anywhere. But you deserve to know the potential danger that you face. Now, his being here could have nothing to do with this sept, and it is just convenient for the namer to keep him here, to have him here, for whatever reason. Or your sept could be part of whatever designs this namer is planning.
I see. We can begin keeping eyes on him best we can, but as a Ragabosh, he is very good at avoiding detection.
I do have one last question, Elder. And I would understand if it's one you do not want to answer. Is this Sept part of the seal keeping the Storm Eater asleep?
No, it is not. That is tied more closely in the continental US. Our Karen is relatively young. There have always been members of Older Brother here, thanks to the migration of our kin. But there are no wolf populations here, and the Karens were tended by others at one point or another, or freshly discovered.
I see. Thank you, Elder. And then Mark will ask where one of these, where a member or maybe a pack of one of these Garu that worked with Nightbiter is available.
So, the closest one is doing patrols, and they're about a 4-hour walk away near the beach. And that is to the north specifically. And that Garu's name is Salt Claws.
So before we head over there, thank you, Pulls the Ocean. And if you have any questions for us, any requests or demands, we will do everything we can to meet them.
I ask that you bring back any information you discover about Nightbiter. I know that the raids have been going well, but I do know that the Fostern and Cleoth that he aids get impatient, as he rightly communicates caution given how well funded this facility is, but they see the horrors in the Umbralscape as laws have been changing and shifting, and they dump poison into our oceans and violate the sacred places and kill our mother slowly with an IV drip that makes the algae bloom and the germs immortal?
We will investigate, and perhaps we will join them on this. That would be likely the easiest way to investigate him, and perhaps we'll get rid of them faster that way.
Excellent. It'll take about a day's journey across the island, and then you'll have to take a boat to the next island over.
Thank you. Then, yeah. Before are we going to go meet up with Salt Claws first?
That's what it sounds like.
I think that, yep, Salt Claws first and then head over to the island.
All right. An important thing to keep in mind for everyone, and this is in character, we were fully open with her. We need to be extremely inobvious. and we aren't investigating Nightbiter. We're just here to help with whatever he's doing.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, when we talk to Salt Claws, it'll all be, hey, how have the raids been going? Tell us about them.
Right. Vague, general, don't even bring up Garu names, just how's the raid, what are they doing over there, so on and so forth.
Okay, after a breathtakingly beautiful 4-hour hike, beautiful, pristine beach. There's a couple people here. As based on the description, you do find Salt Claws.
Alone?
Yeah, he's a slightly tan white man with dusty brown hair, kind of lean, pretty young, maybe 18.
Mark will call for him. Salt Claws.
As he kind of jogs over. Hey, oh, you're Kyle guards the Loria, and your Mark guides the Fallen. I've heard of you at the moots of the Children of Gaia.
Well, it seems our reputation precedes us.
I didn't know we were that famous.
Rhea, you're an Athro.
They're tales of caution, I'm sure.
But what can I do to help? What brings you out here?
Oh, we've just arrived, and we're just getting an idea of the situation here. We've heard that some packs have been raiding a close by Magadon facility.
Yeah, it's a new pharmaceutical plant, hoping to bring in jobs to stimulate the local economy, but really they're just making the town it's in more expensive.
How have the raids been going?
Good, though the elder who's leading us is just a little too cautious, in my opinion.
What makes you say that?
Oh, there was a couple times then we saw a facility that looked unguarded, and he was warning us that it could have been like a honeypot or something like that. Just very, very paranoid about this company. I mean, really, we're just trying to gather evidence to show that they're dumping more than they said they were to try and help with public opinion. I know that they lobbied the local government to reduce the fines for these sort of spillover events.
Is that the final goal of your Sept with this pharmaceutical company?
We would like to get it shut down. It's clearly harming Gaia. There's banes growing in the oceans near it, and they've made our lives harder, even though they're, a couple days boat ride away. It's still affecting the Karen, and it's clearly spreading.
Have you discovered any reason other than just dumping their waste into the ocean for them being here? Is there a particular plant, animal that they're here for?
I think it's that they're looking to increase antibacterial or antibiotic efficiency for cattle, and they want to show that through cattle farming here in super enclosed spaces and areas that aren't really meant for it, that they can help essentially terraform this place to have efficient factory farm conditions with an antibiotic that makes it financially viable.
So that means torture of poor souls, the tearing up of land in Gaia, of course.
Well, I'm sure the end goal isn't here, right? They're probably going to try and do it so that they can increase factory farms down in the Amazon and in the continental states, because it just means you can pack more animals and get more profit.
So these raids have pretty much just been information gathering, I take it, like you said?
Yes, and if we come across the odd Fomori, which we have, then we throat it.
Wherever it dwells. Has there been any discussion for true solution? Actual raid?
Some. Yes, we're trying to get around and looking at the corporate offices. The problem is that it's just manned 24/7, and there are people working late at night. And Nightbiter wants to make sure that we preserve the veil and make sure that we don't run into a trap. I guess this worm company is more active on the continent, and there's proof that the people there know of the Garu's existence, meaning we have to be extra cautious as our Karen is relatively small. There's only about 10 Garu here, and lots of kin, and we don't want our kin to end up in the crosshairs.
Well, perhaps with us here, we'll be able to be a little less cautious.
Hopefully. I know I've heard the tales that Fomori's Bane and the Ill Omens will throw caution to the wind to get things done.
That's maybe not the best lesson you should take from us, but I would use that as a cautionary tale.
There are lessons and warnings, young one, and Mark will point to scars. Take these as warnings.
Well, the scars are a badge of honor for the Arun, even those of the children of Gaia. My pack serves Black Unicorn.
For the Arun that lives, yes, and we have all been very lucky to live.
Gaia graces us with her interventions often.
Well, if that's the case, though, Nightbiter is speaking with some of the kinfolk in Lihue and trying to get a few of us on boats there, or maybe even using some connections and some money to use the airport to jump to Honolulu and then drive north from there and hit them from a different angle if you need to get a hold of him. Nightbiter's the elder who came over here from the continent. He's a Silverfang, and he's been the one pushing for these raids and leading us and showing us how he's done it in other places.
Mark will look at Salt Claws and just kind of state and ask. So, rank aside, what do you think of him?
He's, as I said, he seems cautious. I know that he will travel between the islands quite frequently and has been doing so he's not on Sept grounds a lot. But I know that to keep up appearances, he takes up contract work in Honolulu. That's how he's able to get those plane tickets for relatively cheap, because he has contacts there. I guess his family used to have stock in those particular airlines, like Kappa Airlines.
We'll keep that in mind. Sounds like we have a lot of modes to travel to get there. We'll have to decide for ourselves, though. Appreciate the information. Guardsolo, do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so. When are you next meeting up with him?
Oh, the next raid, we're all supposed to meet up in 5 days. You'll want to head over to... You'll need to head over to Lihue. It's the biggest city, or it's one of the bigger cities on the island. It's to the east of us. It's on the eastern edge of the island.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll probably meet up with him before then. 5 days would be an awful long time to wait to say hello.
Certainly.
But we look forward to seeing you at the raid then.
You and your pack.
Thank you.
We must be along. Gaia's grace is upon you.
Thank you.
And out of earshot, pretty much, so that Salt Claws can't hear, Mark will turn to Kyle and ask, should we tell Nightbiter we're here so soon, or should we wait a little bit?
I'm mixed on it. The good doctor already knows that we know. We could potentially even tell him outright that we know, and just see how he reacts, assuming that it's not the good doctor in control at the time of the conversation.
True.
But,
Well, most certainly he does deserve to know. I do agree with that. I just split on when.
he deserves to know what exactly?
What's occurring to him, possibly.
I suppose I hadn't considered that he wasn't aware. I assumed that this was something quite like, well, Storm Chaser or Andy, where they got something out of it and they've been doing favors.
Well, this is punishment on me. As the good doctor revealed to me in a dream, we've all had our loved ones threatened. Mine was psychological, emotional torture. I have no idea if Nightbiter is actually out of Hirano, or if the good doctor is just temporarily setting it aside so that he can have his whims with them, or they can have their whims with Nightbiter.
Well, based on how these jars seem to work, I would assume that everyone's fix is temporary. Kyle will put fix in air quotes.
True. But in lieu of what we've been tasked to do, I think telling Jonathan Nightbiter what is going on is something he deserves. Because he's already possibly being used as a pawn. We don't need to set it up as the nation doing the same on him. Open and honest.
I would certainly prefer if we tailed him for a day or so beforehand, if possible, just to see exactly what it is he gets up to.
You're right. The young one mentioned he gets around a lot, so maybe we should tail him. That is a good idea.
Yeah, I don't mean to disagree with you, Mark, but I think it would be safer if we assumed that he already knew that the good doctor is the one behind his Hirano going away, however temporarily. At least until we know more.
That's a fair judgment. Thank you, Dimitri. It's just so close to home, you know? But I guess if I'm going to have to find peace in this situation, then I have to make a decision myself, so...
Well, whatever you choose, I know that I support you either way.
Thank you. But Gartzelo brings up a good point. We should see what he's up to, because even the Garo here find it strange that he doesn't remain in the set grounds. So I think that is at least worth investigating, my emotions aside from it.
Perhaps I could use Dream Speak and see if I can glean any information from his dreams. But I know the risk that it carries with the doctor, but I think it could be a potential avenue.
I think that's a good idea. I can't speak to what the good doctor could do, but it's an avenue of information gathering that is completely unlike any other.
I agree. Just be careful, Dimitri.
Dimitri's gonna have to wait till he's asleep anyway, so you got some time. Still, well, it's definitely early in the morning. I think Hawaii's 3 hours ahead of or behind us here in Colorado.
I think so, yeah.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna be here for a bit anyway, so is there are we within a time frame to perform a Sept duty?
They're 4 hours behind us. Good lord. Well, you have to walk another 4 hours back to the Sept first.
So what I wanted to ask is, A, do I have reception out here? And B, can I use, if I do have reception, can I look into this Magadon facility that is dealing with a lot of the strong antibacterial antibiotics and see what they're doing publicly wise? Not necessarily not just medicine, but also what are they doing for jobs, like the economy here, seeing if they're bolstering it or if they're actually tearing it down, things like that.
So you do not get service out here. All the cities, or all the major towns and cities are on the opposite side. They're either way further south or way further east than you guys. So, and then there's mountains in the way, so there's no cell towers in this particular area. It's pretty tech unfriendly.
Okay. So I guess then once we find a location that I can get reception or use a public location, like a public library here, use that to look into the Magadon facility. And then also just look at social media posts regarding it with the locals.
Alright, that'll be closer to when you tag up with Nightbiter. Alright, so you head back. There's not a lot of Sept duties to be performed, mostly because the major Sept duty is moving out for raids. This place is actually a pretty well-protected area thanks to the government of Hawaii, though judging by some of the regulatory changes that they talked about regarding dumping, that might not be forever. So they're just trying to do what they can in these areas for now in aiding the spiritual. But most of the spiritual stuff are done in the sacred sites that are barred from anyone who is not a member of Older Brother. Alright, so hanging out a bit. It's getting late, finally. Also, you guys are just tired earlier, quote unquote, just because you've been walking all day, and it is like later Colorado time. So the day has passed. So what is the plan?
So we sleep. Dimitri does the dream speaking. I suppose regardless of the information, we are almost certainly going to go trail Nightbiter for a day, see what he's getting up to, and then maybe after that we make contact based on all the information we gathered.
Okay. Dimitri, can I get a dream speak roll, please?
All right, here we go. 1 success.
Dimitri, you see Jonathan writhing in pain. You're there too. It's this horrid screeching sound as you see these horrid claws from heaven screeching the glass bubble that you're both in. It's rubbing down, and the worst feelings imaginable happen to you. I need you to roll willpower, difficulty 10.
Okay. 1 success.
You're able to keep it together as you just enough as you hear a somewhat familiar voice, but you can't place it, saying, "That's it. Remember, I can do this if you disobey," as the claws dig in and you see Nightbiter scream as you see like these fleshy protuberances burst out of his face as it looks like pus in the shape of his own body trying to crawl out of him in all directions, as you just get this wave of sorrow and this wave of hopelessness and this other wave of just you wanting to sit down and do nothing, all while it competes with your desire to keep fighting or the core self that you have of yourself.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and spend a rage to shift into Krynos form, and I'll try to fight these kind of not just the feelings surrounding me, but also fighting these like pus protrusions that are coming out of them.
Okay. As you try and do that, you're trying to wipe them off as you're hitting, and you hear as the hand envelops the entire glass thing you're in and starts to squeeze as you see cracks happening, and you see Jonathan scream out as his chest seems to rip open, and you see the joy take physical manifestation to escape him as he tries to hold on to it, screaming, "Don't leave me! Don't go away again! I'll do it! I'll do it!" Dimitri, when that happens, I need another willpower roll, diff 10 again.
All right. Oh, well, that's not good.
You lose a point of willpower.
All right.
Actually, you lose 2 points of willpower because you botched.
Yep.
And you're drawn in, and you see the complete desolation of Winterfang. You see everyone you've ever cared about gone, dead, or turning their back on you. You see the worm continuing to creep up. You see the worm consume Sacred Stone, your new home. You see your 2 pack members fall to the worm. You see Fomori's Bane call you an ill-gotten omen, one that they will not allow into their own pack, for all you do is bring destruction, and Sacred Stone is too sacred. As you sit down and it's all hopeless. There's nothing. The worm will win no matter what. That is how you feel. There is no reason to go forward as your rage inverts upon itself and you feel yourself slipping further and further into Hirano in this dream as you feel the absolute hopelessness and the inward sadness and self-destructive urge that is so strong that it is paralyzing to the point of you not even thinking it is worth removing yourself from the equation, shocked and caught in everlasting despair and indecision as you weep tears that form into every happy memory you ever had, and they flutter off through the cracks in the glass. And you are allowed them back, the voice says, if you obey. You wake up.
Wow. Yeah, when Dimitri wakes up, he's going to be quiet for a while, kind of taking everything in that he saw and felt. And yeah, I think he'll just wait for everybody else to wake up.
Mark will wake up. Dimitri, is something wrong?
I don't know how to put it into words. It was a lot. It was intense. Nightbiter is being held hostage by the doctor. I saw it. It was like a glass sphere that we were both trapped inside in, and a hand pressing down and squeezing around it, and the cracks forming in the sphere, the Hirano, the sorrow, the despair forcing itself out of Nightbiter's body. I got caught up in it. For a second I thought I was gonna be lost to that sorrow and despair too, to my own despair of the loss of my Sept again, having no place to call home. I almost forgot I was in a dream. I think Nightbiter knows, and I think the doctor's pressing him to do work for him, or else he'll bring back his Hirano.
Mark will go over to Dimitri and put like calming hands on his shoulders and kind of squeeze him. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you came back. But
Dimitri's going to give Mark a hug.
Okay. I know it was just confirming what you theorized, but this definitely is solid evidence. We now have that Nightbiter is under the influence of the good doctor, legitimately. And Mark will just be with him and wait for the others to wake up.
Cora will wake up and, chill, I guess. Listen to Dimitri's story and offer her condolences and sympathy.
As the sun starts coming up, it is the next day. Dimitri, you didn't sleep the rest of the night. Constantly reminded of that. But thankfully not in true Hirano, just shaken. So, I'm guessing the plan is then to start heading across the island.
Yep, we gotta figure out what Nightbiter is up to.
You start, takes about, most of the day, about 8 hours. When you get there though, William, as you get to the edges of town, you see that the signal on your phone has come back to life. As you start Googling the facility, the Magadon facility is a large pharmacy that is attempting to help locals. The newspapers all praise it, claiming that it is bringing in a ton of new people in the city of Vealuhe. I didn't butcher that. In that where the facility is located, as it looks pretty good. You actually have to do a little bit of digging, like a lot of digging. I do need a intelligence investigation difficulty 9 minus your computer.
So 9, 8, because I don't have any investigation.
Okay. So after about 4 hours of digging, you do find this post that's like 20 pages deep into Google of a very obscure local journalist trying to run their own, news site for the community, talking about how while the company is bringing in new jobs, it is making the areas around it even more expensive, and is hiring outside of the local communities, including and especially the indigenous ones, as their specific criteria don't really fit many of the firms that are located in Hawaii. And this has caused more people to move in, causing more displacement in the area, in a spot that has already suffered greatly from a large amount of tourism and things like that, just blowing up the local economy and housing prices.
When I find all of this, I will let the group know that what we already knew is that this place was bad, but in more certain terms, this is what they're doing, and it needs to be stopped. And I think the time for covert is over.
I hear what you're saying, and although I agree that we could move faster than how quickly Nightbiter has been moving, particularly because, well, there will be 6 more of us, I don't think we should throw caution to the wind, as Saltclaw says. It's possible, I might even say likely, that what Nightbiter is doing here is gaining trust. I doubt that he's slowing down the destruction of this facility purposefully. He could be. There's no evidence in either direction. I don't think they would have even the successes that they do in the time frame that he's been here if he was slowing this down for some purpose.
I hear you, Kyle. It is a precarious predicament. I think we do need to figure out what's going on with Nightbiter then, based on the dream Dimitri saw. We don't know what Nightbiter is planning, whether it's them or the doctor.
So then, if we're not having any doubts about his purposes here, is it still worth it us trailing him and then announcing our presence to him? Or should we just announce our presence to him?
Trailing him gives us the opportunity to see what it is he's actually doing when he's not under the eyes of the Sept. There's absolutely value in that, because it could lead us to the good doctor's plans. We haven't been so lucky in that department so far, but that's no reason to stop trying.
Okay, how do you plan on finding him?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, talked about that company that he has ties to. Whether that's true or not, it seems likely that he is doing work for them, so that seems like as good a place as any to start. We at least know his face, so
Sure.
it can't go quite as badly as the last time.
I don't know, but okay. So you know that he works mainly on a different island because that's where more work opportunity is. And so you head to the airport where it is said that he has some contacts in. You approach Lihue Airport, and I need the highest perception alertness, diff 8, please. It's Cora.
It's me.
You do spot Nightbiter. He's actually got a bag ready, and it looks like he's heading into the airport to take a plane back to the Honolulu airport. I now need the lowest charisma stealth to blend into the crowd so he doesn't see you. It's William.
Is it possible to use the owl stealth?
All the way up to 5, because that's the next lowest.
Okay.
Because if you used it to bump out of the lowest, then it's just the default.
I would no
to
longer
5,
be the
yeah.
lowest.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said standard diff, right?
Yes. As you blend into the crowd, you start following. You see him get to airport security, and then moves on through. You are unable to follow. But it is odd that 4 days before the raid, he's going into Honolulu. As you all see that, perhaps something can help in the Umbra. But until that happens, we'll have to see what happens next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We'll catch you in that next episode. Bye.
Bye.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.